Welcome to Bon Echo Provincial Park. In this video, we'll be sharing more about our park experience here, giving you a quick tour, and letting you know our overall thoughts. Bon Echo Provincial Park is located in southeastern Ontario, approximately 3 hours northeast of Toronto and just over 2 hours southwest of Ottawa. The park features several lakes, including Mazinaw Lake, which is the 7th deepest lake in Ontario. There are beautiful hiking trails and plenty of water access for swimming, boating, canoeing, and kayaking. The park has roofed accommodations, electric and non-electric camping, in addition to walk-in and canoe-in campsites, so it has something for every type of camper. When we arrived, we had to stop at the main gate, and then we were directed to the campground gate to check in just a short drive down the road. At the registration office, you could also purchase ice and a voucher for wood that you could use at the woodlot closer to the main entrance. We arrived to Bon Echo after about a 2.5-hour drive, and this drive was a little bit more nerve-wracking because we brought our kayaks with us for the very first time. We've never had to load them up on the truck before, and as you can see, they're on there, they survived, and we made it. Now we're just filling up with water. When we arrived to Bon Echo, on the left-hand side when we were pulling in was the dumping station, but it also said filling station. But just across on the right, they have a filling station only, and there are hoses on both sides. On both sides of the filling station, the hoses were threaded and water pressure was actually pretty good. Our site was a bit tricky to set up because it was open on both sides, but we figured out a solution for our tiny trailer pretty quickly. We set up our site and now we're out touring the park. Our first stop is the North Beach, which is right in our campground area, and we already have incredible views. We also noticed that there are some campsites here too that have water views or access to the beach that's a little bit closer, but something that you should note is that you basically sacrifice all privacy, and most of these are on kind of a slope or a hill, so that's something to know as well. There's also a campground trail that's not on the map that leads you down to the North Beach in the Sawmill campground, so we thought that was pretty cool because we didn't think that there was any access, but there is. We're back at our site and we're having our first fire since the fire ban, but I wanted to give you a quick look at what we did to add a little bit more privacy to our site because we are right along two main roads. As you can see here, we've parked the truck along one of the entrances, but our site is actually a pull-through site, so you can come in from over here and right around, but we backed our trailer in on an angle. We set up our dining tent and we didn't put it up to the full height, so it makes it a little bit more private and even better for rain. And we added a tarp, so you can see that this is a main road here, but we put our tarp up so now our privacy is a little bit more, and I'd give it a thumbs up. It's time for our maiden voyage on our new kayaks on Lake Mazinaw. And I think it's pretty deep, so we're gonna try and stick to the edges. We are on our way over to the rocks where they have Indigenous pictographs. We're about halfway across the lake. A big boat just went by, so now we are just kind of like cruising on their waves. I think they were driving too fast, but that could just be because I'm in a kayak. Anyways, we're almost halfway there. This is probably one of the deepest parts of the lakes that we decided to take a quick break in, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, so I think I'm just gonna keep paddling. I don't think the camera does it justice just how huge this cliff is. The rocks go straight up and it's massive. We've finally made it close enough so that we can try and spot some of these pictographs. And if you don't want to canoe or kayak over here, they look like they have some boat tours that will actually take you along the wall where you can see the pictographs and someone explains what they are and what you're looking at. So that might be another option if you don't feel like canoeing, kayaking, or stand-up paddleboarding. Mazinaw Rock has one of Canada's largest visible collections of Indigenous pictographs. We were able to spot a few on our first visit out to the rock, but noticed that in the harsh midday sun, it was a bit difficult to spot them. So we did go back the next day again earlier in the morning and had much better views. Just behind me, there is a dock that you can canoe or kayak to and just park your boat there while you go and do the trail. I can't remember exactly what the trail is called, but I'll put it somewhere on the screen here. And immediately the trail has a set of pretty steep stairs, so I believe it is a moderate to difficult trail. To get wood at the Woodyard, you purchase it at the registration office and they give you a voucher or receipt to take to the Woodyard to pick up your wood. We decided to go for a drive to the other campground area that was closed due to the storm last year, and you could still see lots of damage and destruction in the area. The campground is still closed, but it looked like they were slowly cleaning up and restoring this part of the park. We made the drive to Joe Perry Lake, and it's quite the distance from our campground area. It's about 3 kilometers in one section, and I feel like we already did about 3 kilometers to get to that section. Now we had to park the truck and are on a 500-meter portage for anyone who's coming down here to actually go camping in one of the Canoe-In campsites here. We saw a bunch of people in the parking lot getting ready to do that. We're just going to take a quick look at the lake and see what it's like there. Down at Joe Perry Lake, there was a map of the lake and campsites, a dock, a picnic table beside it, a small shed, and there were also a few racks of numbered canoes that didn't appear to be locked up. So there really aren't many amenities here for anyone who may be canoeing camping for the first time. We just saw someone getting ready to leave on their voyage with their little pup, and it seems like quite the workout getting all of your gear down from the parking area to the lake, but I guess being in nature and the peace of this area is worth it. Bon Echo has a total of 6 hiking trails ranging from easy to difficult. Unfortunately, the storm damaged the Abe's and Essence Trail and it's still closed for cleanup. The longest trail is a 4.8 kilometer loop on the Shield Trail, and they even have an off-leash pet exercise trail that's a 1.4 kilometer easy loop. There are 3 natural sand beaches for swimming, at South Beach in the day use area, the main beach located in Lower Mazinaw Lake, and a smaller beach in the Sawmill Bay Campground, also known as the North Beach. Pets are not permitted at these beaches. The Lagoon has a boat launch and is where you can rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. A handy tip for you if you're bringing a canoe or kayak to this park, you can actually lock them up here on the racks in the Lagoon boat launch area, so you don't have to drag them back and forth all the time. There's also another boat launch at the creek where we saw some smaller fishing boats being launched and another rack for your own canoes and kayaks. And if you're looking for a bigger paddle, you can head here from the Lagoon area like we did. This morning we kayaked from the Lagoon area all the way around the main beach and into the creek, and it's very peaceful here, so we're just going to try and see if we can find any turtles. Well, we did a good chunk of this creek on the kayaks and we did not see a single turtle, but I did hear some bullfrogs. We just decided to turn around at an area. It was starting to get a little bit dicey with all of the trees that had fallen into the creek. So there's a lot of stumps that we were kind of maneuvering around. So that's a good tip to note if you are going down the creek in a canoe or a kayak. There are some stumps that you do need to watch out for. Later that day, we headed out on foot from our campsite to explore the rest of the park. The park store here at Bon Echo has more than souvenirs and stickers. They also have a little cafe inside, so if you're looking to get any souvenirs or just a snack, you can do that right here. There was a small camping and essentials section, some toys, books, and games, and in the back there was a little clothing and souvenir area before you got to the cafe. You ring the bell for service, and they had some baked goods, bottled drinks, coffee, and tea available for purchase. And just across from the store was the visitor center that had some interactive displays and information about the park, the wildlife, and the lake. If you're interested in the boat tour or the ferry to the Clifftop Rock, the dock is located here as well, and you can purchase your tickets at the gift shop or online. Ticket prices are posted. Pause here to read. Then we took the trail to check out the amphitheater just down the road. It was massive and located in a nicely treed area. Then it was time to check out the other campgrounds, starting with Fairway, located in the larger Mazinaw campground. There are both electric and non-electric sites here, a central comfort station with showers and laundry facilities, and these were kept quite clean. Well, we found enough energy after dinner to actually go out and explore the Fairway Campground, and it is a really nice campground area. There are a lot of really great sites in there, so if we come back in the future, I think we're going to try to go in that campground. Anyways, we're on our way back to our campsite now, and then we're going to have a nice fire. Sawmill Bay Campground is also a mixture of electric and non-electric sites, and like the others, has garbage and recycling right at the entrance. We decided to go for a walk through the Sawmill campground just to check out some of the sites, and wow, some areas of this campground are so steep, like really steep, rolling hills, and we even saw one of the roads that looked like a trailer hitch or something metal dug into the road all the way up and left a strip in the middle of it that had like a little crevice in it. So choose your sites carefully here, especially if you have a trailer. The comfort station here also had laundry, showers, and flush toilets. However, it wasn't as centrally located, so it was kind of a hike from our site. And we got lucky and spotted a deer just casually walking on the side of the road. There are also a handful of walk-in camping sites here in the Sawmill campground area. They're located by one of the boat launches with a big parking lot, and each of the sites has a designated spot where you put your little paper in the holder. The Midway Campground was radio-free and had electric and non-electric sites. There was also a comfort station with the same amenities and a garbage and recycling station. The sites here weren't as nice as Fairway, in my opinion. We're almost at the end of our camping experience here at Bon Echo Provincial Park, so now it's time for me to give you my overall thoughts. And I'm going to start with my likes. This park has so much water access. I really like that about this park because no matter where you are, you can easily find a boat launch or a beach or somewhere to launch your canoe, kayak, or stand-up paddleboard. We really enjoyed taking our kayaks out to explore the Pictographs on Mazinaw Rock. That is such a fun activity, so if you do have your own canoe, kayak, or stand-up paddleboard, or just want to rent one, I highly recommend doing that as one of your activities while you're here. Another thing I liked about this park is that it offered all kinds of camping. Whether you wanted roofed accommodations, canoe-in camping, walk-in camping, or regular electric or non-electric sites, they had all of that here. I really liked how walkable this park was. We were able to venture out on foot a lot here and explore all 3 of the campground areas, so it was a really great park if you wanted to just get out and walk. And speaking of walking, if you like hiking, there were numerous trails that this park had to offer, and they range from low difficulty to high difficulty, so whatever you're looking for, they have it here. I also really liked that the park store was a bit of a boutique. It had handicrafts, different artwork, as well as a cafe in the back, so if you wanted to go grab a coffee or a baked treat, you could do that there. They had basics as well, so if you forgot anything, you might be able to find it at the park store. And just across from the park store was a visitor center. It didn't take too long to visit though. We did it in about 15 minutes, but it was a nice activity to do, especially if it was a rainy day. And lastly, I really liked the water filling and dumping station situation here. They had a separate water filling station, but at the dumping station that had 2 lanes, they had 2 dumping stations and 2 water filling stations in front of it, so it seemed like a very convenient setup. And now it's time for my dislikes, and I really don't have many to mention about this park because we loved it here. But the first thing I would say is that there's not a lot to do outside of the park. So if you are looking to go explore some nearby towns or do some nearby activities, there wasn't a lot that we found personally to do outside of the park. And the second thing is super minor, but we had basically no cell signal the entire time we were here. We were with Belle, and the only signal we barely got was at the main beach where we got like 1 to 2 bars of LTE. Overall, we loved this park. We will definitely be back in the future, and I think if I had to rate it, it would definitely be in my top 5. And if you're looking for more park reviews and tours, don't forget to check out some of my other provincial park reviews and tours that I've linked to in the description below. Well, I hope this video can be helpful for you if you're planning a trip to Bon Echo in the future. And as always, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more camping and travel videos coming soon.